Hello, guys. I'm Leslie, and I'm here with Iris Karami. A real treat. We have a storyteller, filmmaker, cultural documentarian in the house. Specifically, we're at DIOS headquarters. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
Well, technically, would it be like you're having me or y'all having me? But
yeah, right. We're having each other right now.
All right. So I've been telling you, waiting to just have a conversation with you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interview, but it's really just like a genuine, like, hey, like, who are you? What do you do? What's going on? And for everyone, like, that may have, like, seen us in projects together or out together, like, I just want to be very clear. This is, like, a genuine, like, conversation. I've been telling Iris that I've been holding off on, like, really asking her stuff because I was just waiting for this moment. So,
yeah.
glad we can be here.
Me too.
So, before all the projects and collaborations, who is Iris? Like, where are you from? Your background? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, well, I would say first and foremost, I'm born and raised in Houston, Texas. My father is from Iran, and my mother is from Texas, but she's Mexican-American. So I grew up with a very diverse background. I grew up in the southwest side of town, which is also a very diverse side of town. So I grew up with a lot of different people, different types of people. Growing up, storytelling was always in our family. On my mom's side, we're known for our ghost stories. You know, I think a lot of Hispanic families are like that. But similarly, on my dad's side, he's also very much a poetic person when it comes to storytelling. So I always had that kind of, it was handed down to me like this sense of nostalgia of a places and things through stories.
Yeah.
And I saw the power in that from a very young age. And I've always been very empathetic towards people, their feelings. And I understood, you know, at a young age that connecting with people culturally, verbally, it can unlock things and positive things. But I didn't truly understand that power until later on in my life.
Right.
But it was planted in me from a young age.
Right.
And my first love was always hip hop. It was always music. And from there, dancing. So hip hop dancing was my first plan A as far as career. I wanted to be a competitive dancer. I wanted to perform. I wanted to go to school for it.
Yeah.
And I was serious about it. I was in a studio called Soundbox Studios. I was in Riot Squad for a couple years. But I was very active, and I did other things like skateboarding, which got me injured.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Not the story, but I was like, we were going up, Iris, and what happened?
We felt so bad. I had to have like 3 different surgeries. Yeah, and I got a concussion. It was so bad. I tore my ACL, PCL, and meniscus. So I had to get my knee operated on twice. And I dislocated my collarbone, so I had to get my collarbone operated on. So I was like at the height of my career as far as dancing.
Yeah.
And then I just like took a left turn. But it seemed like the transition for me made sense somehow. And I got really, really focused in on what truly matters to me, one. But 2, how can I turn this into a career?
Right.
Because I was already in my junior year in high school. And I hadn't taken school seriously because I was focused on dance. But this was like a wake-up call for me growing up. And I realized I need to be more versatile and other skills and things, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. See, this is what I'm telling you. We're going to have, like, a part 56 because I got questions.
Yeah.
Okay, wait, real quick, because I'm Mexican-American. I'm first gen. So I feel like I understand, like, that household, what that looks like. How was it with your, like, that side of the family? Like, how did both, like, cultures, like, I'm pretty sure it was a good mesh, but, like, how is that? Like,
Yeah. So I would say Middle Easterns and Hispanics are really similar in a lot of ways. My mom's family, I always like to say they've been in Texas since they was Mexico. So growing up, I kind of had, like, this identity crisis. A lot of, you know, first-gen peers or students, friends, that family were from Mexico, they spoke Spanish and I didn't. And my mom also spoke half and half Spanish. So the identity was like a struggle there because I didn't understand what that meant. But now I understand that we've been here for so long that our culture has changed as the land has changed. But that makes us more native to where we're from. And I've found a lot of empowerment in that. But pairing that with an immigrant father, immigrant parent who came from a different place in time, right? I mean, he grew up in a small town in the middle of like a mountain valley. It wasn't really a major city. They're farmers, so they're really close to the land. And they grew up in such a different environment and culture that when he came here to the United States, he assimilated intentionally, and he understood that there was a difference in culture. But there was always differences in the way my mom saw things and the way my dad saw things. So it was a struggle growing up sometimes. But they both gave me so much foundational, knowledge, culture. My mom was the one that put me onto music. My dad was the one that really put into me, different perspectives from a worldly view too, So they both gave me like a mix.
Yeah.
But it was a clash. Like I had a big identity crisis growing up. But I will say that being raised in a city like Houston, in an environment like the Southwest side where it was, everybody was international, I didn't feel like I was too different sometimes. And I felt like I found my place in the city through our melting pot.
Yeah. No, I could definitely, I feel that, because I grew up in the South Bronx. So it felt like I never looked at race or anything like that. Honestly, I think we were just all like, but I'm glad that that's how you felt. Honestly, like now speaking to like a lot of people that grew up in Houston specifically, it just feels like we kind of had like a similar environment, just different city, and different like ways we get around and everything. So before we move on, I want to also touch on hip hop. Yeah, what the fuck? Hip hop is like top one storytelling, like just music in general. What was your first, CD, like introduction to hip hop? Like, who was your first?
Dude.
I thought like, it's gonna be, I haven't even gone through the second question yet. Jesus.
Lord, look, I used to have, I would always bug my mom for Christmas for things to do with music. So I had like a little karaoke Barbie set with like, it had cassette tapes from like the top like music at the time. It was like NSYNC, Britney Spears, like all of that right at that time was popping. But I also had this Bratz boombox.
Not the boombox.
And it was a radio.
Okay.
And a boombox, like you could connect it to I don't even remember. It was a CD player. It was a CD player and a radio.
I could like picture this thing, but like in my head it's like pink and like round. I don't know. I'm picturing it, but I'm gonna have to Google it later.
No, this one was so cool. Bratz was so cool. So it was a vanity. So it had a mirror on one side and a CD player on the other. And it had like, it was purple and it had speakers on both sides and it had a radio station.
Wow.
I know, it was fancy.
Wow.
But I remember at night I would listen to 97.9 The Box. And because my mom and dad were kind of like, don't listen to that type of music so young. So I would sneak it and I would like listen to like whoever was DJing that night and like getting the music and hearing what was happening. But over time, like I got an iPod, I got all these things, but CDs was where it was at for me. And I remember, I think maybe 8th grade is when I really started to dig through CDs and go to like Half Price Bookstore. And I remember basing it off of album art. At the time, my mom put me onto rock music and Tejano music. My dad, he wasn't as much into music, but she didn't know hip hop. So it was kind of me just discovering. And the people at my school. So it was like SPM was really big at the time, all of the guys, North Side, South Side guys like Zero, ABN, Paul Wall, Slim Thug was big too. But I remember going to Half Price and getting like Erykah Badu because her album art was so cool. And I was like, this looks so interesting. And then I picked up The Roots, and then I got Nas. And then it just like, it was a whole that just didn't stop, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm always curious about everyone's like first like hip hop like experience or like just what that was. Cause yeah, like I feel like I just resonate with that. Cause yeah, and my parents is not showing me no hip hop. That was something that was definitely taught through environment, you know? So that's just like another like beautiful thing about like music, storytelling, and just like really embracing like just being in your like I don't know environment for real. So
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the music was just bumping like early 2000s in Houston. It was just hard not to, you know, be around that or be exposed to that, you know, even the cars passing by.
yeah,
I mean, you just hear it everywhere.
yeah. I wonder what that was like
Yeah.
because it definitely when I got to Houston, like I feel like I got put on quick. Like I don't think time went by until somebody like put me in a car and they were like, "Look, we're about to have an hour drive. About to put on this Screw CD, and we're just zip." And I just remember being in the back seat, like I felt like everything was just going through me, and I was like, "I get it.
No.
I get it."
I have to share a short story,
No,
if
go
I
ahead.
may.
Go ahead.
My best friend at the time's older sister would drive us around everywhere. And there was this moment that I can never forget. She like put on a UGK mix, right? So we were playing front, back, side to side. And it was my first time ever hearing UGK. And she had this Yukon and the windows were down and she turned up the volume loud as hell. And I remember she was going word for word to the lyrics and I was in the back seat. And I look over to my right, and it's a sunny day, and we're at a stoplight, and I see these guys pull up in a smaller car, right? So we're above them, and they're down there. And all I see is them, like, looking up at us in disbelief that, like, these Latinas, these Hispanic girls are going word for word on some UGK.
Right.
And they were just going back at it, like, they were saying word for word back. And it was just, like, this moment where it was like, oh, this is what it is. This is the music. This is Houston. This is, like... It's just a vibe.
Yeah. No, I love that. First, you gotta have a first hip hop story, a first like Screw like CD or just anything. And yeah, honestly, I feel like if at this point, just don't deny Screw. I feel like he could just he could still put you on to this day to like different music. So I love that. Okay, we're gonna shift a bit. I do want to touch base on just a little earlier. So crazy. Never thought that you wanted to dance professionally at some point, which makes so much sense because you just put out promo with Crystal for her rings.
Yes,
for
her gold
rings,
ones.
her gold rings coming out. So that makes so much sense. So it's like you're like low key dropping Easter eggs on us about you. Like you gotta, you know, kind of watch her close because she's not just doing shit just cause y'all. It makes sense, you know. And I'm glad I'm talking to you about it right now. So I know that there was a moment where you were a news reporter.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us about that? Like what that experience was like for you?
So it actually makes sense. It's kind of full circle that we're at the DIOS store. So basically I graduated from UT Austin. First generation college student, you know, I was like shooting for the stars. Like I wanted to become this like superstar reporter. Not to say that I'm not going to still or that I'm not now, but the idea that I had has changed to what that looks like.
Right.
But I had this idea that I wanted to go big, you know, I wanted to really achieve a lot. And at the time between my junior year and my senior year, I got very serious because that accident woke me up about what I really need to be doing with my time, with my life, with my resources. I became more mission-based in my head as far as like, what do I want to leave in the world versus just dancing because I love it. Even though that's important too, I felt more inclined to be productive in society and help people. And music, hip hop, specifically Immortal Technique, who is from New York. Well, he's Peruvian rapper, but his lyrics really woke me up in terms of like society, policy, government, because that's always been a part of my existence too. My dad is from a very political country. You know, that country is always in the middle of transition for whatever reason politically. So I grew up knowing these things,
Yeah.
and then music kind of like merged those loves for me, like especially Immortal Technique. And I even met Immortal Technique, and I told him like, you,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Oh, shit.
he was performing in Austin the week of my graduation from college, and it was his music that got me to go to college. Yeah, so I wasn't even planning, like I said, like school wasn't my thing, but it was this sudden realization and like alignment of stuff that like everything made sense.
Right.
Okay.
That's good.
Anyways, yeah, so it was like this alignment of things where I started to see like how I can be impactful with my like love for hip hop, but my mission for others.
Yeah, yeah,
So, you know, like I said, his music really like put that into alignment for me.
yeah.
And I wanted to go to the best journalism programs I could, and I found it at UT. I got into the University of Southern California. I couldn't afford it, but UT was also up there.
Just as good.
Just as good. And it was through that experience where my world opened because, you know, my world was still confined to Houston. And it was like Tumblr and like all these other visuals happening at the time, YouTube, Vice News, that was like opening my brain.
Yep.
Yeah, to like what I could do. And before I transferred to UT, I did a Be Someone documentary, like a smaller version of that in 2016. And that was like my project I showed in my college applications as a transfer.
Oh, okay.
So that helped me go to my next step. But when we graduated, it was in 2019, and that following year was the pandemic. So everything, there was a freeze, like on everything. I've put out so many applications. I have like an Excel sheet still where it's like 50 applications in 1 month.
Yeah.
Reaching out to news directors like, hey, are y'all hiring? Are y'all hiring? So what I did was I started doing my own stories in Houston. I just grabbed my camera and I was just going around, just like interviewing people, following people. And I did one on Georgie. Georgie I had been following since 2016 because he was always into graphic design and film. And I remember his graphic design was like, it really grabbed my eye. And what he's like the new generation that kind of is representing the Houston hip hop scene. So his twist on things I really resonated with. And like I just loved his style for so long. But then he did something awesome in the pandemic, which was he re-released all his prints and he gave all the proceeds back to any artists that were struggling, gig-based people who just were out of work. So I interviewed him. And that was before DIOS even was a thing. So I was collecting all these stories, making all these YouTube videos, and I was just blasting them on the internet. I was annoying, man. Like, I was like, hey, here's my reel. Hey, da-da-da. Like, you know, I can do this, I can do that. And one thing led to another, and I got connected with someone on Facebook that got me a job where I really wanted to be, which was reporting on the border. Because I was always wanting to be an international reporter and do things in that scale. And, you know, when my time in college, like I spent time in the Middle East, I spent time in Europe, and I was experiencing things firsthand that I've always wanted to experience. So being in the border to report on immigration in the time of 2020, in the middle of like what it was like the end of Trump's first administration, being on the border and seeing those things firsthand, it was like, this is exactly what I've been wanting to do.
Yeah.
And just being able to help people in a local way with reporting, with storytelling, it was like one of the best times of my life, I would say. Yeah.
Man, Iris, I be wanting to, it's like, I be having like 3-4 questions within, okay. So one, I would say like, it's always when we get to fucking 2019, 2020, when the pandemic hits, but honestly, that is just such a very like inspiring thing to hear. Even now, it's forever gonna be relevant. It's forever gonna be relevant, what she just said, because if it's not the pandemic, it could be something else, right? So like what you did was basically be like, all right, fuck whatever the fuck y'all got going on. I'm gonna do my thing, push myself out, and it gave you the opportunity. But also I feel like, you know, like I always think like we don't get put in situations that we can't handle.
Yeah.
So you went hard for yourself.
Dude, it
And-
was a
yeah.
survival for sure.
Yeah.
Survival instincts, yeah.
You went hard for yourself, and then it's like when you got that opportunity to, you know, then go out there and do your thing, I feel like it must have felt like just 10 times more fulfilling, because it's like, you know, you got to, it's almost like you interned for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah, that's
if you
cool
think
way to
about
think
it.
about it. Yeah. I think at the time I was just like trying to survive. I think at the time I can look back and see so much like beauty in that scenario, but at the time I was really scared. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, hey, I feel like if it feels too easy, then
Right.
it's not going to be easy.
Right.
It's not easy. Do you feel like, real quick, do you feel like that same, like, thing you went through where you had to, like, just go hard for yourself and then, like, be able to get opportunities, you think that's, like, something that someone, like, present day should still have the mentality to, like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because I think it's easy, you know, for whatever reason. I mean, I think my reasoning was that I was my only ticket to success. No one was going to show me how to do this. Nobody was going to tell me what to do. I had to go figure it out. That pandemic shutting down forced me to be even more resourceful. But I had already grown up knowing that I had to be resourceful. But I think people in general shut down or they excel in those moments. And that's what happened with me, but that's what happened with a lot of people in the pandemic, including Georgie and Les, because they created DIOS in the pandemic, you know? And that's like an example of how pressure will either push you one way or the other. But I definitely think people need to understand that pressure is a sign of greatness too.
That's good. That's a good way to
Yeah.
go look at it.
Yeah.
And intern for yourself.
Yeah.
Intern for yourself, because look, like, it planted those relationships that now, like, if he what, 20, you said since 2016 you've been following him? We're about to come up on 10 years. That's like 10 years back.
It's
That's
crazy.
insane.
It's insane.
Oh my God. Let me move on before I start thinking about my age. You mentioned earlier that you did a smaller project for your Be Someone documentary, right? And as we know, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if my date is wrong, 2023?
Yes, that's right.
Okay, 2023 is when you actually, like, kind of made, like,
Another one.
a bigger version of it, no? What made you revisit?
Dude, I mean, so from news, I went to production. I worked for I worked for a film director. His name was Colin Ruggiero. He bought me out of my news contract to take me on the road with him to learn how to be a producer under him.
Oh, wow.
He's an award-winning film director, and he does political ads for candidates running for office all over the country. So I was in different states producing on the spot for these big budget productions. It's my first time ever doing that. So I was seeing the world, in that world, what was possible. And I was just, the whole time I was reporting and producing, I was just on my phone, just keeping up with everything going on in Houston. And I have been wanting since I was here, to do stuff like that in Houston. So coming back to Houston, I just thought, I have more knowledge, I have more skills, I have more resources. These are stories that matter to me still.
Right.
I want to still do the same things that I wanted to, you
Right.
know? So, sorry, there's a lot going on back there.
Yeah. Somebody singing, somebody, you know.
But,
Yo. Same.
sometimes they get crunk around here. Gotta let him pass.
I know.
But, no, yeah. Be Someone was always one of those stories that I felt really compelled to pursue because it inspired me so much. And just the anonymity about who did it, why they did it, how they did it, that was always so intriguing. Not just to me, but to everybody else. So coming back, I had a different set of skills to bring to that project, and I just wanted to revive it. It was supposed to be another YouTube series. I was trying to run it back like how I did in 2020 and 2023, but what ended up happening was that project ended up blowing up more than I thought it would. And there was so many other elements that came with it.
Right.
To the point where even now it's still not released because there's still so much to be done to it. My business has taken me in different directions, but it's still one of those stories that I'm intending on putting back, like publishing and putting it out on streaming, hopefully. Yeah.
Just to touch base on that, because I feel like there was from like a audience point of view, I love the story. I think it was dope. I think it was brave, because I mean everybody knows with that comes a lot of judgment and stuff. And I know that there was maybe some people, specifically in the graffiti scene, that were just like not feeling it. How did you handle that, or how did you take that?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna take it a step further. Someone tried to sue me with this project, which a lot of people don't know about. But I'll touch on that second, but I'm just letting you guys know there was a lot of pressure behind this project. There was to me, when I had first done it, I guess I was like not as well known. So putting my hands into a project like that and putting it out on YouTube wasn't that big of a splash. It still made a big splash. We were still on the news, like from day one about this story. But I didn't understand the politics and the dynamics of graffiti truly until now, really. And there were people that were in the comment section like angry, upset, and saying negative things about the piece itself. But the thing about a piece like Be Someone is, and this is a reason why I did the story, is it has a life of its own. So the creator can go and create the piece, but then it hits and impacts so many people that it snowballs into a whole other thing. And it becomes something that's alive. Work that lives is like one of the most inspiring things to me. And I think Be Someone is a piece of work that even if it's not there physically, it still is living. And that's how I feel about certain artists too, whether it's music or graffiti. Those are the things that have always like caught my attention. So of course people are gonna have opinions about it.
Yeah.
But it's not about graffiti. It's about a message, and that's what creates what it is. But one of the people I interviewed, one of the businesses that interviewed that wanted to be a part of the documentary, they actually were one of the people that helped me put on a screening for it. Not shortly after the screening happened, it was successful. October 7th happened in Israel and in Palestine. One of the places I spent time in was the West Bank. So I was there in Palestine, like seeing things, educating myself. So when October 7th happened, and I was public about it and I spoke about it, this person came back and told me that I was supporting terrorist organizations and that they were going to sue me if I didn't remove them from the documentary. And I was planning on using this documentary in film festivals, so they were threatening going directly to the film festivals to pull my work, which is why you always get people to sign media releases, guys.
Yeah.
Media release, are you not on film?
Grab a pen.
And I had came back to him like he was scaring me, but he had already signed a media release.
Yeah.
So you can talk all that if you want, but
That's crazy.
legally you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
And I had a lawyer that was representing me in the communication, and they shut that down. And I was happy to take them out. They didn't have to go far. They didn't have to say all that.
All that stuff.
But it was just an unexpected amount of pressure that came with this story in particular.
Yeah.
But I know that, like, when you do stories like that, when they have that much pressure, that just means you're doing something really powerful.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I will also say, after filming that piece, one of the people who was in it also passed away. So in the middle of all of this drama, like there was people dying, there was suing, there was all
just
this.
so much shit.
It was
Yeah.
intense. And I was like, I don't remember it being like this.
You know, but like, because I brought it up because I know I have friends, graffiti friends, who are gonna watch this.
Yeah.
And they like, this is like barely me knowing about you, and like I knew that you were doing the documentary. This is like very on the surface, very like, you know, surface stuff. And so they saw that we were mutuals, and I'm sharing things, you know, like minding my business. Oh, you know, repost, whatever. And they're like just talking shit.
That's
and I'm
crazy.
just like, why are we so, you know, like, I get it from both ends, but I was just like, why are we so pressed? You know what I mean? But also I was like, I can't fucking speak for her, you know? So here she is, like, you know, basically. And I feel like the way you put it together was perfect.
Thank you.
Because,
And you know what, if they had seen it, they would understand it's not even really about graffiti. It is about the piece, but it's about our community.
yeah.
You know? I think people are jealous they didn't get the spotlight. Not saying that people don't deserve it.
Yeah, just don't got motion, man. I mean, hey, but just to kind of like, even with that, like all the stuff you've been, again, with more like, I don't, it's not even like the more responsibility, more whatever. Like, I think it's more like you didn't have to go through all that, but I feel like it's still so early in like these stages that you're in, that it's like little like things that you could just, oh, I kind of been through that. So if like for whatever reason some other shit happens that's on a bigger scale, like you're already like, you know what, I already kind of had a taste of this situation, and you know how to handle it. So
I feel like I got a lot of difficult lessons in the beginning, for sure.
yeah, and it happens. And again, like it's never easy. It's always like something anyway. But so talk to us about working with DIOS. So bringing it back, I feel like recently, and again, you can tell me how far back it goes, but I know you've been doing a lot of production with DIOS. Can you talk to us about that a little?
Yeah. So I've always bugged Georgie about doing interviews with him, just like you're doing with me. I wanted to do with him. But when you run your own business, I see how, you know, it's like you don't always have time to do everything.
Yeah.
Especially sitting down for an interview that you care about. And, you know, it can be hard, but I had always, like, wanted to do things with him. And I would always remind him. I was always annoying, like, whenever I'd see him, like, hey, whenever you're ready. Like,
Me as fuck. I feel you.
You just gotta remind them. Hey,
Nah,
by
for
the
real.
But I think the first time we were ever on set together, like me and George, was the Hat Club set. So I produced this Hat Club set at Divine Shine, and it was for their holiday release. And they had that Mexican OT as talent, and they're based in a different city. They're in California and LA. And they reached out to my good partner. His name's Edgar Mendoza. He's alumni on IG. I've been knowing him for years. And they wanted a producer, so he reached out to me. And that was my first production gig outside of working for Colin, who I was working with prior. And it was such a big responsibility. They wanted us to get all these people, that they wanted us to decorate a spot, make it look like a Christmas wonderland. So I had a week to get all the decorations, get all the people together. And one of the people was Georgie and Les. And we wanted his trunk and his Mercedes. And that was the first time we were on set together. And it was cool. I mean, it was hectic. That was like very
That's a
hectic
lot of
set.
shit.
There was a lot going on, a lot of
Yeah.
moving pieces. But it was cold. It was like 40 degrees. And now he approached me this year about, you know, finally working together on something. And he wanted to work on the UGK short film. And it was so exciting because we got to be historians with it. You know, we were sitting in his office for weeks, just like going through references. Even though it's a short film, every little detail that you see in each frame was thought through and planned. And we were making, I remember one time I went to the jeweler. We found the jeweler in this book that he has who sold Pimp C his jewelry. And I went to go find that jeweler. I went to his jewelry store because I was trying to get jewelry so we could wear it for the scenes. It didn't work out, but that was the extent of like how far back we were going.
Yeah.
And just that whole, like, it was like a 3-day production, but it was just like, it was so satisfying. It was so much fun. It was like so detail oriented, and we just worked together really good. And I think not shortly after that, I think it was before that maybe, we had got locked in with the Adidas thing too. So I can't wait for y'all to see the stuff we put together for that. You know, it's just as cool. You know, we did a lot of work on that. But working with Les and Georgie and seeing their vision and seeing their consistency and what makes them a successful brand. And especially Georgie, because I'm into film, so just his eye for things and the way he's meticulous and intuitive at the same time. Like, he has no formal training in any of this, but the way that it all comes together is just like, is great. Like, it's just real. And then I was able to go to Complex Con with them too. So they had a collaboration with Modelo.
How was that?
That was so cool. Like, I haven't gotten a chance to tell Les, but we went to No Limit and Cash Money, the Versus concert, and that's them. You know, that's their generation. That's their shit. You know, so seeing them at the concert and like, you know, Les, he's like a genius with the music. You know, so seeing him like just be excited with the music and like, it was just dope. You know, because that's where it all comes from, is the love for it. So seeing DIOS as well and this big Modelo activation at this huge convention for streetwear and meeting all these people. I met Snow the Product, The Alchemist was walking around, you know, Maxo Cream was there, you know, all these different people. It was just great to see Houston, to be a part of that in one way or another. So I was happy to be there.
Girl, I bet your middle school, high school self is like, what the fuck? No,
girl.
for real, if you think about it, like,
Yes.
even the UGK project y'all just did, like, I was like, I think we probably saw it like together or not too long right after each other, and I was just like, dang, like, that's fucking dope.
Dude, and that crew that we did, it was just 4 people on the crew. Like, you would think that it was this big production. It was just good. Everything was just timed perfectly. Yeah, it was great.
I was gonna say, I think like also this is a good example of like when you really let people do their thing. For like everyone that you just named has like such an important different element, which is why like these things, when we see them like as a consumer, like it just makes sense, because you can tell where you've let everyone kind of like shine. You know what I mean? Like, and that's what it looks like. And first of all, it's fucking dope seeing a woman producer, feel me, do the damn thing. And I think, this is just side note, like, would love to see more of like BTS from you. Like, I feel like you do a lot of dope shit, and I just think like it'd be me personal, or you could just throw me on a close friends and you could just post for me, whatever. Like,
I know, girl, that's like, trust me, it is like my number one thing I want to get better at.
I don't know, I think it'd be dope. I think it's like dope because you already put out cool shit, so I would be interested in just seeing a little of like what that's like for you.
I got you, Leslie. I'm gonna post my.
Thank you. And I'm gonna comment under like it's MySpace. I owns this. Did you have MySpace?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm like, because some people just
They didn't.
They didn't. Oh, I didn't ask you earlier. Very random.
Yeah.
Were you an MTV girl?
Yeah, I watched MTV growing up. Yeah.
So did that also kind of like help with like visually, like with the music and wanting to?
That, yes, and man, just like, I want to say Nickelodeon. I know they weren't super music based, but just like the visuals growing up, we were really privileged, like, to have seen that growing up. I just think that the visuals in the early 2000s, they came from a real raw place.
Yeah.
Like, the creativity was next level, especially with animation, the cartoons. Oh, my God. And then my brother, he's a graphic designer. My brother, he's older than me. He was into Nintendo, and he was a gamer, really big gamer, growing up. And he was a drawer. So I would always see my brother just also being creative in different ways. And just like growing up in the early 90s, and late 90s, early 2000s, like we were really privileged with the visuals that we got, man.
No,
for
that's
sure.
facts.
Yeah.
We gotta bring it back. We gotta make our own channel. Iris, what's up? We gotta make our own channel. I don't know how we gonna do it, but we gonna do it
We
on
gonna
some
do
Vice shit, on some.
Literally the dream.
Real quick, just because we're still in this topic, tell us about what you're wearing. I know by the time this interview comes out, this would have had already passed, but what are you wearing right now?
So right now I got on the new DIOS and Adidas merch. So this is not Adidas, this is Pro Club. Pro Club donated a bunch of shirts for our drop on Saturday.
Dope.
And they did this exclusive hockey with the prayer hands in the back hockey jersey. But I have on the Adidas and Dios shoe collab. And these shoes are all about the details and all about the quality, and the whole concept of them is they get better as you wear them with time. So
shit.
the leather is supposed to wear out but make it look, texture with that vibe.
We all look down. Hold. We're looking down right now at the shoes.
And these rip off.
Those are fucking.
So that's supposed to also be like, oh, it gets better with time. So right under it is just like that leather.
More, yeah.
So it's like,
I probably wouldn't rip them for a minute.
right, me either.
Yeah.
And then you got a little stash pot in the tongue too. Like you can't see it, but there's a little pocket inside the tongue. So you can like hide your stuff.
So hopefully by the time this comes out, hopefully you've gotten yourself a pair. Don't be lame.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. This literally distracted me. Like looking at these shoes, I'm like, dang, those are actually really fucking
No, they
nice.
are fly, dude. They're sick. There's a lot of details on them too. I know they got prayer hands.
Yeah.
They have like writing on the bottom too. It says "Did it ourselves." It comes with a little keychain.
That's so cool.
It's cute.
All right, so before we wrap up, just random things about Iris that I found on Google. It's only two things. It's only two things. One, well, allegedly, Google says that you speak 4 different languages. Is this a fact?
That's on Google, yeah.
Yes. Actually, I should have really written down
Dang,
all the
Google.
things. I had to. I
That's
was
cool.
like, let me just Google her, see. So, yes, confirmed.
Yes,
right.
I studied Arabic and Farsi. My dad's language, Farsi. And Spanish as well for work. So I speak English, Spanish, Farsi, and Arabic. But Arabic's my least. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So Google got it right. And then this is probably my assumption, or maybe this is something you've told me. Did you ever write graph or wrote like tagged or anything?
Yeah. So I have my own little like tag that I had when I was like in middle school, and I used to be really into drawing and paint markers. It was just a big thing back then. So yes.
Well, if you were a real one, you went to go see her at
Project
Row Houses.
Oh, thank you.
Where I got my shit signed. And I don't know if we're able to zoom in on that later or whatever.
They used to call me Izzy. My little clique, my little friends.
So just wanted to bring this out.
That's real. That's so real. I'm happy you kept that.
Yes, girl, what the hell? You think when y'all become famous, how much is not gets to? All right. Well, is there anything you want to end off with here? Anything?
Yes. I will say that I haven't publicly launched my production company, even though I've been in business for over a year now. It's all been word of mouth, but my official production company is Iris Media, LLC. I'll be releasing finally like the Instagram page, the website very, very soon. I know you were talking about BTS. I have so much to share with everybody from just the past few years has been a roller coaster, from news to political campaigns to using and creating my own production as an avenue for storytelling. I mean, it's been amazing. So I never feel like I am where I am just because there's always work to be done. But I do want to tell people that it does get better. It is very difficult. It is not ever easy. I have been working towards this dream since I was 16. I had a head start. If you want to start something, it's never too late. Just because other people are where you want to be doesn't mean you can't get there. I never thought I would actually get to partner with and work with and be on the team with like Georgie, because I always, put them in a place where it was like inspiration, but it is like a true testament to like your skills matter. What you have has a place in the world to just keep going,
Keep going.
So that's all I really wanted to share.
Yeah, so this is gonna be like part 1 of 5,000 because there's just so much. But thank you so much for
Thank
meeting with
you.
After Hours today, Iris.
Thank
you to
you.
DIOS, Les, Georgie. Thank you for hosting us here today. And yeah, that's pretty much. Oh, where can people follow you?
Oh, get
Yeah.
at me on Instagram. It's my first and last, Iris Karami. And you can literally Google me like Leslie.
Yeah, just Google her because it works and you'll find out way more than what you thought. So yeah.
Yeah, you will.
Thank you, girl.
Thank you,
We are
Leslie.
wrapped. We are wrapped.